Alright, I am alive. I have not been murdered by Savathun in any way but verbally. Still here, still making videos about the Witch Queen. I was on Savathun's side, to be fair. I think she's going to end up being an ally, and I think she's been pretty truthful to us, other than the whole Osiris disguise thing. She kept her deal. I'm just saying, I was defending her, and then she just had to roast me, and now my allegiance has been shattered. So, anyway, we are here to talk about the last TWAB of this era of Destiny before we start the Witch Queen, and from the looks of it, this is finally when we hear about Gambit reworks. They said these aren't like total overhauls of Gambit, but this does seem to be the main focus of this, judging by the banner art here. So we will see what we got here. This week at Bungie, we are but days away from the launch of the Witch Queen. We're finally here, the last TWAB before Witch Queen. Over the last few weeks, we've been touching on new systems arriving on February 22nd, picking through some quality of life changes for the rituals you engage with, and even spending some time with the team in a full-length Vidoc to set the stage for what's coming. We have a few topics left to cover, with only a few days stand between you and the next chapter of Destiny 2. Season of the Lost is wrapping up this week, no better way than with a final mission to tee up our next expansion. Have you played through it yet? No, we'll get in there. And don't exit the final cutscene. I don't know if they'll say that, but don't. We know the Witch Queen is coming, but this is a fun close to the season that you won't want to miss. As a note, there we go. The team has been investigating a few issues with the activity since it went live. You may need to play it a few times for the quest to complete, and we ask that if you're matchmaking in, please don't skip the cutscene. Here we go. Aside of that, we also have an exotic ship to cap off the season that we'll be distributing at a later date to players who own Season of the Lost. Stay tuned for updates. Yeah, so that's the missing exotic ship that I think they just forgot to put anywhere. I think it was supposed to be an end of season reward, and they just like never put it in there, so that will be given out at some point. I think I read the lore on it. I don't remember what it's about, but all right. If you've completed the mission and are already reading this TWAB, I'd assume you're gobbling up every bit of information you can before release. Have you seen the launch trailer? This is the launch trailer. Okay, we all saw that yesterday. No, Tuesday. I don't know what day it is. Truth be told, I've been replaying this trailer in my head for the last week or so. What does it all mean? Well, we'll find out next week when the expansion goes live. If you're looking for just a little more video content, they talk about the glaive. Yeah, this is a separate little mini Vidoc they did about the glaive. I saw they posted something with the glaive where grave robber is one of the roles, so that seems kind of hilarious for it's like the perfect perk for a glaive, given that it can shoot things, but then it stab things. That'll be interesting. It's also it's always a pleasure to get the team to talk about their beautiful creations. I've said it before, but they really do make magic out of math. Multiple teams collaborating through conversation, code, and ridiculous amounts of talent to create the weapons and worlds that you enjoy in Destiny 2. For our final swap before lunch, we have a few goodies in store. The team will be running us through upcoming changes and tuning to Gambit. We'll take a quick glance through patch notes for final preview and an updated Twitch emblem coming next week, and a fun Steel Series partnership to talk through. Let's get to it. I really need to find another way to transition from TWAB intros, don't I? All right. Time for Gambit. Drifter's hungry. No, not for Hive, but for the spotlight. Well, maybe for some Hive, too. Let's focus on gameplay. As we continue to improve and iterate on the rituals of Destiny 2, Gambit is taking center stage. Center stage! Wow. This isn't a teardown and rebuilding of an existing mode, but a moment for our teams to realign on goals and how we're serving up the goods to our players. A few months back, the development team walked through our first ritual update focused on Trials of Osiris. When you look at it, there weren't numerous changes, but targeted pieces of tuning and adjustments to push a healthier experience. Anagram focusing on Trials ranks were introduced to help players earn that sweet piece of loot they've always wanted, even if they weren't winning many matches. Minor changes to passages and matchmaking were made to help get more players into Trials. Freelance and labs weekends continue as we gather valuable data to inform the future of the mode. At the end of the day, Trials is still elimination, and Satan is still a badass, but with Gambit or any mode we may update in the future, you can expect a similar approach. Okay, so this is like a Trials-style rework of Gambit, which, I mean, the Trials rework was pretty extensive. Like, they didn't change the core mechanics of it necessarily, but that seems like there will be a good amount of changes. I guess we'll find out. Today, principal designer Alan Blaine will be joining us to break down our goals for Gambit and what changes the team is making to get us to where we want it to be. When we added Gambit back in Forsaken in the fall of 2018, so really 3.5 years ago, we were closing a gap in Destiny pursuits. We had lots of places in the game to shoot aliens in the face, or juice box. We had places where you could face off against other Guardians, but we had no place where you could face off against other Guardians by shooting aliens in the face. Fundamentally, Gambit is a PvE horde firefight mode, culminating in a race to kill the boss first. Meanwhile, you can throw small and large roadblocks in front of the other team racing you, or be the roadblock by invading opponents, powered up and loaded for bear. Later that year, we added Gambit Prime, a souped-up Gambit with armor-based player roles, and then it didn't really change much for a couple of years. With Beyond Light, we streamlined both versions into what Gambit is today, combining some of the best parts of the original Gambit and Gambit Prime without attempting to transform the mode or address much of the feedback Gambit had generated over the years. So admitting they didn't really address a lot of the feedback. Over the last few months, we've taken a pass on Gambit to address said feedback and realign the mode with many of its original goals. Ultimately, we believe it is important that in Gambit, you can showcase both your skill at fighting in Destiny and the variety and focus of your arsenal. It should be just as inherently fun and rewarding to shoot aliens in the face in Gambit as it is elsewhere. So are they making enemies less absurdly powerful in Gambit? A good invader should be able to turn the tide of a match, but a good invader should be no more important than any other equally skilled team member. A good invader does not have to mean a PvP god loaded up with the best tracking one-hit kill weaponry. Interesting, and that is certainly not the way it is now. Players defending against invaders should have ample tools to fight invaders without worrying about using up ammunition dealing with tougher enemies. And players should have methods of recovering from a devastating invade. It should be rare that a match is out of your hands as a player or that an outcome is preordained early in the match. That is literally almost every single match at this point, which seems crazy, but it's true. Working together with your team to overcome tough enemies, the primeval, high-value target, or an invader should feel as gratifying as a hard nightfall. That's an ambitious goal. We'll see if they can do that. But we don't always hit those marks. Gambit is a healthy and stable population. Ultimately, we want to make Gambit more appealing to a wider audience by addressing points of player feedback and improving upon what exists without changing the core nature of the mode. Our hope is that this leads to more players engaging for longer. Upcoming changes fall into 5 categories: core activity, ammo economy, primeval tuning, invasions, rewards. Core activity changes. These changes are all about enhancing teamwork and making the mode easier to play and understand. Freelance Gambit. Good start. Love to see it. Freelance node added. We think it's important that players feel like they always have a chance at winning, and we see over and over again that full stacks of friends or clanmates have a significant advantage over groups of solo matchmade opponents. Yes, that is beyond true. If you're coordinating for primeval kill, like, it is instant. It is literally instant with any combination of things at this point. The modes we've added, freelance nodes to Iron Banner, Glory, and Trials of Osiris, all feel like they end up with more balanced matches more often, even as they increase and split the number of matchmaking pools. We are investigating ways to remove the need for freelance nodes that split the population and hope to have something for you later this year. Interesting. In the meantime, the ability to queue for Gambit freelance should be very useful. Yes, I will only be doing that always. Rotating seasonal selection of curated encounters starting in Season 16. Oh, okay. In Classic Gambit Prime, you got a randomly selected encounter from a list of 3 for each enemy race on each map. In Beyond Light, due to production issues, we were only able to bring 1 of the 3 variations forward into the new activity. Those issues have been fixed, and we are now bringing the missing variations forward. Oh, wait, so that means for each enemy race on each map. Okay, so this is why, like, you only see, like, certain kinds of spawns, and, like, they're pretty much identical every match. That makes a lot of sense. I guess I never realized those were missing, but now that they're saying that, I really get that. Okay. Playing with the single variation for race map for a year has led us to an interesting observation. It's fun to know that Hive on Pacifica means, oh god, those Shriekers, and to learn the spawns and master them over time. Okay. Maybe not interesting for an entire year, but we think it'll be interesting to have a set rotation of spawns for a season over those 3 months, really master each encounter. Oh, I get it. So, okay, so they're not going back to random. They're doing, like, this period of time is Shrieker spawns, and then this period of time is giant wizard spawns or something. Okay, I understand. No more Shriekers on Pacifica for now, but they'll be back later in the year. Respawn points added to all fronts, sections of maps where enemies could cycle in or out. Oh yeah, it can be frustrating to have to run all the way back from the backfield after spawning before you're able to help teammates, fight the invader, collect drop modes, etc. It could also be very frustrating as an invader to always spawn at the same location on the map multiple times in a row, or to have the invader camp at the entrance to avoid confrontation. Also true. More respawn points spread throughout fronts should help you get back into the action faster and provide for less predictable spawn points during invasions. I will say that I'm really wondering if this is going to end up with they're bringing back the 2 missing maps, because that you can't keep going with just 4 maps. That's so lame. They got to add them back. I'm hoping we get there by the end of this. And then I promised I'd throw my PS5 out the window if they'd give us 2 new maps. We will see about that. Players always drop half the motes they were carrying when they are defeated. These can be picked up by anyone, including invaders. Invaders can also drop more motes now. This makes recovering from a ruthless invader or bad luck fighting enemies a little easier. Okay, so players drop half the motes they are carrying. That's interesting. So they can be picked up by your teammates. Players can be revived by other players 2 seconds earlier, and auto respawn is delayed 2 seconds. Yeah, that's what you're like going to revive a teammate, and then they like spawn back at base. That happens a lot. We have to emphasize and reward teamwork as much as possible by bringing your teammates back, and saving them in a run is now even easier. This change should also reduce frustrating moments of teammates being forced to respawn as you're halfway through a revive interact. Yep, that's what I just said. When your teammate dies and you run to grab their drop mote, stop for a second and revive them, will ya? Yeah, good point. All shields have increasing resistance to non-matching damage types. Oh, okay, so they're making it harder. Well, not as severe as match game resistance. We wanted a way to promote build crafting and teamwork. Okay. We'll see how that goes. Rules of Gambit node added to the launch screen, and numerous Gambit-specific hints have been added to the load screen. Gambit can be a bit opaque to newcomers. This should help give them a leg up. Yeah, that's true. Blockers draining in the bank. Well, we didn't do any drastic adjustments here. We have a few tweaks we think will increase interesting decisions when sending and battling blockers, and hopefully remove the feeling of helplessness as you pour ammo into 3 knights as all of your motes drain away. 10 mote Phalanx blocker has its health boosted a bit. That's probably good. Those things are pretty weak. Well, they are a good positional change with their shield and knockback. We felt like they weren't quite tough enough for their mote cost compared to the knights, so we increased their health. Okay, so they're not changing the blockers, apparently. 15 mote knight blocker gains a stasis attack. We originally planned to pull its health down as we felt it was a little too beefy for 15 motes, but with the ammo changes below, we didn't find current health onerous in playtesting. We did think they could be more tactically interesting with the stasis attack without necessarily making them more deadly or harder to kill. Does this mean they're not doing their frickin' fire attack that just like destroys you? Mote drain from multiple blockers continues even if the opposing team is in primeval phase. This will help the team that is behind get to the primeval a little quicker. It's never felt great to send over 4 blockers only to have the enemy team ignore them, all while being severely behind. True. This also gives the team in the lead a bit more incentive to kill blockers during their primeval phase. Yeah, we'll see if that works. Mote drain is paused if a player is near the bank and engaging blockers. It never feels great to have your motes draining away while you pour primary ammo into 3 taken knights. Alright, so what's going on with ammo? Ammo economy. Our goal for these changes are to make a more predictable and equal baseline of special and heavy ammo among all players. We will be watching both feedback and analytics around ammo gain and usage rate, and will continue to make tweaks if these aren't enough to make fair matches. When completing a front, a chest containing a small amount of special and heavy ammo spawns in the middle of the front and can be looted once by each player. That's interesting. It times out 20 seconds after the initial interact, so you can't dilly-dally. Killing a high-value target spawns 1 normal heavy brick for each player. During the primeval phase, ammo chests spawn in one of the fronts every 60 seconds. This replaces the regular front ammo chest, but you still need to find the time to go grab it. Okay, so what is this doing for invaders? This seems... Alright, I think they're getting to that. Limited special and heavy ammo bricks to only spawn from enemies if you have finder mods equipped. Other ammo exotics and perks like Aeon Cult still work. Yeah, because you could just get really lucky and just get a bunch of heavy drops from random enemies, or you have to like time the freaking chest spawn. So I think they're trying to make it more even distribution where everyone gets access to chest spawns. Primeval Fight. Primeval Fight is the ultimate challenge of Gambit. It should feel like an epic boss fight and be long enough for the opposing team to get off some invades to counter strong DPS. It should have more to do than simply burning the boss as quickly as possible, and in turn, place to kill envoys every once in a while. Its mechanics shouldn't be complex, but should require about as much tactical play as a high-end strike boss. Interesting. Primeval health and Slayer stack bonus retuned. Burning the boss after 3 rounds of envoys should be just as easy as it is now, but burning him after 1 or 2 rounds should be significantly more work. Okay, so that's kind of a health buff. Envoys now spawn with friends out in the fronts rather than in the bank area. Oh, okay. Interesting. So they have reduced health, are no longer affected by Slayer stacks, and have varied elemental shields. Okay, this is interesting because they have been affected by Slayer stacks to the point where anytime after the first 2, your Slayer stacks just make them like, you can just melt them with your primary instantly. And like by like round 3, you just look at them and they die. I always wonder why the Slayer stacks worked on them. That didn't make any sense. Killing the envoys to get Slayer stacks will require movement, dealing with the enemy, with the envoys, protectors, and dealing with their elemental shield. So this is, they're essentially going back to Gambit Prime. So without making the Primeval immune until those are killed, and like they spawn their little area where you can damage the thing. Oh, never mind. They are doing the Gambit Prime thing. I take it back. Envoys put an invulnerability shield on Primeval. You must kill them both to remove it and damage Primeval, forcing your team to go out and invade. This is Gambit Prime. They're doing Gambit Prime. Envoys respawn at 30% of the Primeval damage done. This increases by 10% every envoy respawn, and envoys stop respawning after the 5th spawn. The Primeval Servitor boss is removed since its custom shielding mechanics conflicted with the new mechanics. The Malfeasance quest starts on the first Primeval kill, so we're just losing a Primevals? I don't know about that. Okay. With the tuning changes above, the Moats phase is significantly quicker and the Primeval phase longer. You should expect matches to be just about as long as they are now, but we will be watching to make sure they aren't too short or too long. Invasions. As we said above, a good invader should be able to turn the tide of a match, but a good invader shouldn't be no more important than any other equally skilled team member. We don't want a single invader to completely dominate match outcome, and they certainly can right now. However, we still want a good invader to be able to delay a strong PvE team from finishing off the Primeval. Level advantage is now, quote, now disabled for invader PvP. It has actually been like this since the start of Beyond Light. Surprise! Okay, is that supposed to be a secret or an accident? Okay. One of the moat phase invasions has been removed. Invasions now trigger at 40 and 80 moats. Okay, so only 2 phases instead of 3 before Primeval. Primeval phase invasions are unchanged. Invasions can no longer be saved up. Use it or lose it, pal. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's good. Invader can no longer see how many moats enemy players are carrying, and player nameplates fade out when the invader is aiming down their sights. Oh, they can't. Okay, so they can't just target 15 moat Magoo now. Okay. You can still see players through walls, just not while you are engaging with your rocket tracking or using your sniper zoom. Okay, so that'll make sniping a good amount harder. We found a bug with how the Primeval heal effect is being applied, which, depending on the sequence and timing of kills, would heal the Primeval for somewhere between 5 and 35%. Not great. Okay, we fixed it, and now the invader kills heal the Primeval for exactly 27% each time. Sounds like a lot, but it is less than the optimal amount prior. We'll be watching feedback and analytics very closely on this one, and we'll retune as necessary. Rewards. We are missing a photo. All right. I'm gonna refresh this and see if they fix that. There it is. All right. Okay, so this is what we have from Focus Decoding now, which is some. Is this a new? Did they reskin something new and call it a Gambit set now? Is that what we're doing? And there's no class item. Interesting. These are all old weapons, but they are the ones that you get from the playlist specifically. So you can focus for that. All right, what do we got? Gambit is the second of the core rituals after Trials of Osiris to get comprehensive engram focusing options. You can focus the Gambit engram into either Gambit armor or Gambit weapons for 10,000 glimmer and 50 legendary shards. Gambit weapons include, all these. Crowd Pleaser, Bottom Dollar, Trinary System, Borrow Time, and Servant Leader. Brand new Gambit weapons are drop only for a single season and then available for focusing. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know how many of these I care about at this point. I mean, I got a lot of... I accidentally gilded Dredge in this season, so I got a bunch of Servant Leaders. But I mean, it's good. It's better than not having that. This seems like something all the playlists should have, which maybe they will later. Okay, and then the new ones you have to still get as drops. Not sure if it's solving that problem, but all right. We expect to expand Drifter's focusing options further during upcoming seasons. Other Drifter changes. Bygones, Trust, Bad Omens have been removed from the vendor. You could give us back Bygones and Trust. I don't care about Bad Omens. Actually, Bad Omens isn't even Sunset. Bygones and Trust. Please, bring them back. Make them the playlist weapons. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. And match drops. There's a Gambit memento for a weapon crafting that can drop after any match. Yeah, this is what they talked about in the crafting thing. This is the only memento that exists, I think, during this initial phase. Again, we don't really know what mementos are. They might be like charms. I'm not even sure. Guessing it's a jade. If it is a cosmetic thing, guessing it's a jade coin. I mean, what else would you do with a charm? Older Gambit shaders now have a small chance of dropping at the end of each match, so you can get Gambit. What's the one everyone wants? I don't remember. I have it, but I don't remember what it's called. The glowing one. Primeval Servitor cosmetic drops can now drop at the end of any match. Oh, right. There's like was there a ship? I don't even remember. Ship, ghost shell. Yes, you can expect more rituals to get this treatment throughout the year. Here we go. We do not have any specific dates for you to share. Stay tuned. The future in Gambit Labs. There are a few things eagle-eyed readers might notice are missing from the above. Don't fret, we do have a timeline for future changes. Maps. Where are the maps? Where are the old maps? Where are new maps? Maps. The daily Gambit bounty objectives are generally fine, but some of the repeatable bounties have onerous completion requirements. Yeah, true. We're taking a pass on these so they won't all come at once. Sometime this season we'll be adjusting the completion amount of most Gambit repeatable bounties. Weapon kills drop from 25 to 15. Melee and grenade kills 25 to 5. Jeez. Super kills from 15 to 10. In Season 17 we'll be making additional tuning changes as well as adding 3 new bounties. Throughout the year we will be also adding bounties specific to Light 3.0 updates. Okay. Gambit Labs Invasion Edition. We also have a couple of Gambit Labs that play with some of the core invasion concepts. These will run for 1 week and will take over the base Gambit nodes. Invasion Swap. This lab's variation plays around with who gets to benefit from triggered invasions. During Modes phase, instead of opening your own invasion portal at 40 and 80, you instead open your opponent's invasion portal. Interesting. We expect this to completely disrupt the accepted meta for how and when to deposit and invade. We're looking forward to seeing the clever strategies and counter strategies you will develop. Sure, I will not develop any when I am in the freelance playlist and everyone is doing whatever they want. Moat Thief. Fundamentally, the original concept of the invader was Guardian has taken terror, overpowered, and dangerous. Something new to have to fight. And while that is very compelling, we don't believe it is the only compelling invader fantasy. We believe the sneaky Moat Thief is worth exploring too. Maybe there are more. Normal moat drain from having 2 blockers is disabled. Instead, every second the invader is invading, 1 moat drains directly from your bank to the invader's bank. Nope, don't like that. don't like that at all. Evie, you gotta chill. I know you're locked in here. I know people are talking outside. We'll be done soon. Okay, so they're not doing maps. What was that? Is that your saddest sound you can make? I'll let you out soon. Sorry, Evie's sadness distracted me, but you really need to bring at least the old maps back. I get that those were not used in Prime and we're kind of under the old Prime system now, but one of the core things holding Gambit back right now is that there are 4 maps only. That is crazy. Not only do we need the old maps back, we need new maps. That is not good enough. Like, this is not how things should be. I am disappointed to see maps not mentioned at all here. I think that's a mistake. I also wish that they would talk about the fact that originally they said that they were thinking about bringing back the Gambit Prime roles as Evie. It's fine. It's fine. You just gotta wait a little bit. I know. You can see him soon. They were bringing back those as actual roles, but that does not seem to be the case. That seems to be an abandoned idea, and they're not putting them into mods or anything like that, which is a bit of a bummer. And I just, like, all of these changes sound good to me. I really think they need, to kind of, it's not just about the rules of Gambit. It's about, it feeling, I mean, maybe the changes to spawns and things will feel a little different, but they gotta have the old maps back. All right. Enough ranting about that. What about Trials and what's next? If you're not Trials fans, well, our main focus for Season 16 is Gambit. We still have some fun changes planned. We've done so much work on Trials, but I think we could stop working on Trials. As we discussed earlier this season, we are going to continue to liberally schedule Capture Zone and freelance weekends, as well as a few reputation updates coming. For Season 16, we are moving to a schedule of 7 maps for the season, one of which you will get to decide. Expect a survey to come out in the next few weeks to vote on the final map. We'll have some Adept reward changes coming for Season 17. We'll preview those later in the season, so that's next 17. What's next, you might ask? We are still ironing out the details, so we don't have anything to share today, not even a lore drop. However, we are planning to make the next 4 seasons a banner year for rituals and hope our Season 17 plans will spark joy for everyone. Right? We hope that all Guardians that love or fear Gambit give the mode a try once Witch Queen launches. We've really enjoyed playtesting it, and we're going to be listening to your feedback and making adjustments. Bring those maps back. Final patch note preview. Here's a quick roundup of patch notes for next Tuesday. Think of this as a kitchen sink of patch notes, a little bit of everything. Ritual awards. Starting with the Witch Queen, ritual playlists will be updated to grant ritual-specific gear, weapons, mods, armor, and no longer be granting rewards from the general world pool. Evie, are you just the most sad? Okay. I'm going to let Evie out. She's just too sad. Oh man, I felt too bad. Okay, because this seems like it's going to be a long section. Crucible grant Crucible gear. Vanguard will grant Vanguard gear, and Gambit will grant Gambit gear. Yes, that seems smarter. This has to do with them replacing the world pool, where they're doing, I think, four of the new weapons from the foundries in each activity. So they're going to be split up like that. Plus, you'll get the playlist drops. Engram focusing is currently only available on Saint 14 and the Drifter for the ritual-specific engrams. World engrams will continue to be granted at major ranks on ritual vendors just for a little variety. So there still are some world engrams. Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard rituals are receiving updated armor rewards for the new expansion release. They share the same base appearance, but have slight difference in decals and coloring to represent each ritual. Oh, okay. So this is the new set for the year to replace Calamity Rig. I think this is new. I don't think this is a reskin of anything. I thought this Hunter thing looked a little like Jensen Knight, but I don't think it is now that I'm seeing this. Kind of a casual look. Everyone's got pants with flies and, and things. Interesting. Okay. I mean, they always kind of design these sets to look like kind of normal and like not super crazy out there. So whatever. Returning Crucible maps. Here they are. Eternity and Vostok return to the Crucible on February 22nd. Those are your two Crucible maps. I think those are pretty good picks. I like Vostok. I'm excited to see Vostok come back, actually. Eternity, I didn't love Eternity. Eververse, no changes. Wait, seriously? Yes, there are no systematic changes to the Eververse. There will be new cosmetic items available for Silver and Bright Dust, but no systematic changes to the experience. Is that good? Bad? I don't know. I guess it's fine. What about Bright Dust? Any changes to how much players will be earning? No. There are no changes to Bright Dust acquisition or totals compared to that of Season 15. Players will continue to earn Bright Dust from seasonal challenges, repeatable bounties on specific vendors, and through the Season Pass. Please note, this week brings the final drop of 700 Bright Dust in celebration of our 30th anniversary. Redeem it before it's gone. Okay, well, no more changes to Eververse. I guess they have it in a state that they want it at, and no one is complaining about it loud enough to make them change anything else. So here we are. Eververse. Okay, so these are the new Universal Ornament sets for Eververse for this season. Pretty sick. This is very glowy, extremely glowy. I thought this was new Trials armor for a second with the little like gold swirlies and things. Interesting. I like the flames on the Warlock thing here. That looks really good. I mean, obviously I'm gonna buy it. I always buy the armor ornaments. This is very intense. I imagine the glows will change based on shaders. This is cool. The glows in here too. I bet there's glows on the back of this cloak, if I had to wager. The knees glow on the Titan. Alright, well, they look good. Season Pass changes. High stat seasonal armor has been reintroduced. Hey, here we go. Individual pieces are awarded between ranks 57 and 87. Legendary engrams have been replaced with focused umbral engrams. 5 in total, each focused to a different armor piece. Arms, legs, chest, class, and head. All umbral engrams are tier 2. So people were asking if like umbrals were being removed based on the new world pool and stuff, and they're not being removed. Apparently, they still exist, and they're now in the Season Pass. The Season Pass emblem has been removed, but there's a Season Pass Sparrow now. That's good. Wasn't there one before? No, I guess it was a ship. The Season Pass Scrounger bonuses which increase seasonal weapon armor drop chances in ritual activities have been overhauled. Yeah, those were kind of bad. The weapon Scrounger bonuses are no longer separated by weapon type or ritual activity. They now apply to both Season Pass legendary weapons and all activities at once. 2 Scrounger bonuses instead of 6. The first bonus grants the player a small chance to receive weapons from ritual activities. The second bonus gives an improved chance. Fine. Total drop chance is unchanged from previous seasons. At least it takes up less slots now. But what is it being replaced with? The Armor Scrounger is no longer separated by ritual activity. Applies to everything at once. 1 instead of 3. I swear I wrote a thing a long time ago about how to overhaul the season pass, and this was definitely one of my ideas. And the drop rate is unchanged. Aside from the emblem, no items have been removed from the season pass, only added. A number of rewards such as Glimmer and Legendary Shards have been consolidated to make room for high stat armor. A small amount of upgrade modules have been added. That's good. The order some rewards are acquired has been tuned to accommodate the above changes. Shattered Throne, Throwaway. Fix an issue where Shadow Thrall and the Shattered Throne are unintentionally granting investment rewards such as Glimmer, Engrams, and XP. Spares begins to craft weapons and level up their season pass in February. We want to ensure gameplay rewards are earned by playing complete activities, bounties, or just hanging out with friends and patrols while defeating minions of the darkness. I mean, they were going to patch the Throwaway someday, and I can see everyone just like getting a weapon and then just sitting there forever and farming all their weapon XP and whatever that way. I get it. I understand. I think that's fine, personally. Boss Stomps. Adjusted the physic knockback for Boss Stomps. Whoa. Let's calm down here. We really going to nerf Boss Stomps? Is that even allowed? This should result in fewer deaths from being knocked into objects. Alright. Next week we'll have a full roundup of patch notes available for you to read through. Time is currently TBD, but our goal is to give you some light reading before launch. Steel Series is doing a thing. This is a giant mouse pad or something, I think. I'm not sure. Witch Queen Twitch bounty looks cool. Known issues. Exorcism blockers. Don't skip the final cutscene. Wayfinder compass rotation. Alright, I think we're good. And someone did a JoJo opening. I didn't see that one. More art. That's a good one. Embroidery. A real life stag. Oh, I would totally buy that. That looks sick. Soon. I was just thinking the other day, many of us have been here for nearly 16 seasons of Destiny 2 content, and even more of that space magic goodness if you turn back the clock to the launch of Destiny 1. Even after so much time, the feeling of Destiny release is like no other. The promise of new loot always drives some excitement, but it's the wonder and mystery of it all that truly resonates. Moments of discovery are potent. Sometimes it's easier to recite the first encounter with a crazy boss or the moment a god roll drops into your hands than it is to remember a sibling's birthday. We're excited to hear about your upcoming journeys through the campaign. We're excited to watch as you craft your first weapon. We can't wait to hear people scream in terror while attempting to revive a teammate during a legendary mission. Just a few more days left, and it will all be in your hands. Thank you for playing, and cheers for being one of the best communities on this planet. Much love, and see you Starside DMG. All right. That's the last TWAB. We're going to get patch notes and stuff. Maybe they'll drop lore or something. Savathun is apparently done taking over Twitter as of today, so that only lasted for a day. I think all those Gambit changes are good. It's just, I feel like you really got to work on bringing some more maps back and adding new ones, or else you just can't have a mode that only has 4 maps. It doesn't work, and I really wish that part of this was spent retuning those other old maps to work again. Like, I didn't miss that, right? I'm not crazy here. And then obviously new maps would be great. I get why it's low on their priority list, because last time they did like a Gambit focused anything, that was kind of a disaster. And obviously people also really want more Crucible maps, new Crucible maps. And they did announce which ones are coming back, at least. So I get it's low on the priority list, but hopefully with how much their team is expanding and things and how many more people are working on stuff, maybe that's something we can get this year. It's just, I don't know. The changes sound fine. I guess that's the main thing, but I don't know. I'm still sort of pushing for more here. But anyway, that's all for now. I'll have some more thoughts on this later probably, but thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.